He doesn't know how to read a single note. But man, he can play like nobody else. He can play like Eric Clapton. The reason he doesn't know how to read notes, it just tells me that he did not have any classical training. For whatever reason, whether his parents didn't support him, or his parents wanted to but could not afford it, or they didn't have a teacher in their neighborhood, for whatever reason, it's obvious to me that Eric Clapton did not have a classical teacher to teach him the classical methods. Because the first thing they teach you is how to read notes. That's the first thing they teach you. So just the fact that he doesn't read notes tells me that he didn't have this classical training. But still, deep inside, the guy wanted to be a guitarist. Maybe he didn't want to be the greatest guitarist ever, of which he is one of them now. Remember, I told you your visions change, your goals change. But he had a burning desire to play guitar good. So it also tells me that even though he didn't have education at his fingertips, he made sure that he learned how to do it himself. You see what I'm trying to say? Because he had a goal, he had a vision. I know somebody who's a great drummer, and when he started drumming on pots and pans. He would study drummers on TV, from music, from the stereo. And he had pots and pans. He didn't have a drum set. But he made sure he learned how to do it. Don't you want those kind of people in your organization? People who will call you at 11 o'clock at night, Jason, I can't sleep. Because you know why? I gave a presentation, it didn't work. I want to know how. Can you teach me how to make it better? Would you be bothered by a phone call like that? If you want people like that, give them a vision for the business. Then you don't have to motivate them anymore. They'll motivate themselves. And since they're internally motivated, it's very easy to teach them. They're very open. It's really hard. It's a hard thing to do, to try and teach someone who doesn't want to learn. It's frustrating. But on the other hand, it's so fulfilling to teach somebody who's like an open book. You tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. Then finally, after the teaching process, make sure they have the vision. It's very important. You have to inspire them. Not just with nice words, not just with, sayings from books and stuff like that, although it helps. Encourage them with you. You should be an inspiration to them. Your example, your commitment to them, your support for them should be an example. That should inspire them. Number one, inspire them to achieve heights in this business that they never thought possible. And it should also inspire them to be an inspiration to others. That's all part of the caddying process. These are the kind of people you want, fully supported, with vision. Now, there are some things you must avoid, okay, when you caddy someone. It doesn't mean that just because you want to support someone and make sure that he grows in the business, okay, you give away the farm to this guy, okay? Making yourself available at all times. Now, this may sound like a contrary statement to what we're saying earlier about spending time with them, but let them know, okay, that time is valuable. Okay, don't call me at 1:30 in the morning and I'll be there in 5 minutes. You don't want to be his slave. You want to be his employee. Okay? Let him know that, one, my time is valuable. Okay? Let's schedule our things. Let's schedule our meetings. Don't call me at 1 o'clock in the morning and expect me to run and make a presentation for a friend of yours. In fact, this is a mistake that many, many people make. Come on, Leslie, you just come in. You don't have to do anything. You just give me the names of all your prospects and I'll call them for you. Have you ever done that? In your exuberance and your enthusiasm to do this business, have you tried calling people? Don't do that. It doesn't work. I will tell somebody that I'm caddying, Haroon, I will present to as many people as you want me to on one condition, that you are there with me. Now the reason for that, okay, so remember, you want to teach, you want to impart. The first reason for that is the best way to train the person that you're caddying than letting him see it over and over again. right? That's number one. So he can learn the presentation process. Number two, as his friend asks objections and you start answering them, he also starts to learn how to answer objections. And sometimes objections that he may have had but was too ashamed or too embarrassed to say, right? When you answer them, it also gets answered in his mind, so it encourages him more. But finally, the third and most important reason why Harun has to be there when I talk to his friend is his friend doesn't trust me. If Harun gave me, excuse me, I don't know your name. Raminda. Okay, call up Raminda and tell her, you know, you want to show her a business. And I call up Raminda, and Raminda, Harun told me to call you up. What are you going to think? Are you going to go, wow, I want to meet with you tomorrow? Or are you going to be, why? Why are you calling? Or who are you? Yeah. And why are you calling? In other words, suspicious. You see what I'm saying? It's not an open thing. And finally, if you do break through that wall somehow and are able to sit down with Raminda, maybe Harun will call, Raminda, meet with Joe. I can't be there, but meet with Joe. And I sit down, you're not going to trust me. Right? Who's this guy? Right? You're not going to trust me. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to be able to present to somebody who you don't know, but the probabilities of this person responding to this business gets lower and lower. But if Harun calls up Raminda, Raminda, I'm going to set up a meeting. I want you to see this business. Okay, an associate of mine is coming with me because I don't know how to present it so well yet because I just started in it. I mean, tell the truth. So let's meet Tuesday lunch. Is that okay with you? What's it about? Never mind. We'll tell you during the meeting. So finally, you sit down with Raminda. Raminda trusts Harun. You do, don't you? Now, obviously, Harun trusts me because if not, he would have never brought me in front of Raminda. So because of our association, Raminda will also trust me, at least for the time that Harun is there with me. But you see what I'm trying to say? That's why it's important that he is there with you. Okay? Because right away it breaks down barriers, it breaks down walls. But that's what I'm trying to say. Making yourself available at all times, avoid it. Yes, I'm available, but you have to be there with me. You want to be their employee, support, not their slave. Okay, in other words, yes, I'll make myself available, but there's a price to pay. You have to be with me. Yes, I'll make myself available to train your group, Harun, but you have to be there with me, and it can only be on Thursday afternoon because I have another group that I'm meeting with. Because believe me, if you how do you call this? If you just make yourself available at all times, then they get spoiled. They'll take that time for granted. Your time is valuable. It's the number one capital that you have in this business. Guard it. Make sure that you don't waste it. Doing your presentations without referral in training. In other words, your referrer who you're training. Okay, don't do that unless he's there for the reasons that we've already gone over. CADIA, a direct or indirect TCO who has not completed the basic training course. Now, before this VCD, it's very hard because you have to get to the basic training course. But now, when all of these things are going to be on video or VCD, you can sit down with Raminda and say, yes, fine, Raminda, I'm going to CAD you, but before we start, I want you to watch all of these VCDs. That way we're talking the same language. Yeah. Can you help me? Can you make sure my organization grows? Yeah, but we have a basic training meeting in my house. No, I can't. I'm going swimming. Well, look, if you're not willing to spend time getting basic training in this course, then I don't have time to CAD you. Remember, you have to choose the people that you're going to work with. You have to choose these people. Your time is an asset. Your time is valuable. Essentials in CADing, a 3-point guideline to create maximum effect in your organization. Identify the time and date you will allot for each of your potential leaders. Okay? There has to be specific time, specific place. And you have to have a specific reason why these times are set. I know somebody who would meet In Manila, we were having big bombs, you know, rooms. Sometimes we'd have 1,000, 1,200 people. And one of the leaders there would meet with his leaders after that meeting. Because this is when everybody's excited. Wow, they just brought in, you know, 5 people. The 5 people